Oops. There we go. All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we want to make sure we have folks. Ms. Strong, do we know if everyone's ready at the jail?
I'm not sure because it shows courtroom 2 has been connecting for quite some time, so I'm not sure if you're ready or not.
Okay. Can we get in touch with sometimes it's Miss Vigiletti or Mr. McLean or let's see now. Okay.
I'm gonna take them out, Judge, and see if they can come back in.
All right, we'll just be in recess until someone from the jail logs in. You can pause YouTube or recording. I'm just waiting on them. Okay, thank you.
Judge Law, courtroom 2 is back on.
All right. Good morning, Miss Vigiletti. How are we doing?
I'm sorry I'm late this morning.
No, it's quite all right. What's going on?
So I'm here. We don't seem to have anyone with us yet. Officer St. Cyrin and I are just going over who they haven't been able to locate yet.
Okay. Is Officer Norris available? or deputy? I was just trying to get an ETA on when you may get folks either in courtroom 2 or in any other location at the jail.
Here, but are any of them your, person?
Yeah,
Vega.
Vega Victor is mine. Officer Saint Serene is gonna grab a few folks right now and we can get started.
Okay, we'll be in recess then. While I have you, are you still trying to locate individuals or interview folks?
There are still a few people. I think we have 6 or 7 that we weren't able to speak to yesterday. So
Okay,
we will need to speak with most of them today still.
all right. I'll let you and the deputy go ahead and bring folks in as soon as possible, okay? Thank you. All right, folks, we are just gonna wait till the courtroom is, we have folks to address in the courtroom. Thank you.
I was just gonna say good morning.
Good morning, Ms. McLean.
Sorry to be running late, Your Honor.
That's okay. What's the status right now?
My announcements are like they were. I've got several that when the particular clients show up, I've got quite a few negotiated pleas. The only one that I have a question mark about is number 17. And I think that will be resolved easily and quickly considering what the offer is and what the charge is.
Okay, we have Miss McLeod, I believe also. Is her client available? I'm not certain who it is.
Eric Parker.
Okay,
is her
so
client.
Deputy, if we can have Eric Parker also available either in courtroom 2, any other location. That would help.
Okay.
Miss McLeod, is your only client Eric Parker?
Yes, Your Honor.
Position 19. Okay. All right. Well, we're at the mercy of you and Mr. Vigilante, Miss Vigilante right now, Mr. McLean. As soon as you get folks available, we'll be able to start.
Right, at the moment, we do have one person here and they are in discussion, so that should seems to be going apace.
Okay. All right. Let us know as soon as you're all ready then. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, apologies for the running late.
It happens.
Well, it was the worst traffic I've seen for a while. I was on the road for an hour and 20 minutes.
How are you feeling though? You doing all right?
I'm much better.
Okay, that's good.
I haven't even coughed once this morning.
All right. That's a good.
I'm feeling like a New York City metropolitan area commuter today.
Oh, no.
It was such a hassle.
Well, glad to see you walking and talking now, so that's good.
I did think I was going to be a half hour early and that it's, life surprised me.
Sometimes happens, but it's good to see you hale and hearty. So
Thank you. Thank you.
let us know when you're ready, okay? Thank you.
Your Honor, I do have an announcement on Cortez Rucker.
Yes, that is,
It is position 26.
got it? Yes, and yes, good morning, Ms. Folk. What's the announcement?
Good morning, Your Honor. So the DA's office has accepted the case. They did send me their acceptance today. I have sent them the orders on that and another case to sign and send back to me so I can have Your Honor sign them.
All right,
But I just wanted to let the court know it has been accepted by the DA's office. They just need to sign the orders.
all right. Ms. McLean, is that your client? Courtroom 2? Cortez Rucker, position 26.
26 is not my client. It is probably Ms. Vigilante's client.
All right, we'll let her know then. Okay,
Your Honor, as soon as I find out whether a social worker is going to be able to talk to someone this morning, we don't have that many DUI cases normally on an SAP calendar. Sometimes there's one or two. And I have one today where I need a social worker visit in advance because of a certain mental health aspect.
mm-hmm.
Just really check. So that will be the cause of needing a social worker visit. And I hate to delay the person's freedom. And we're going to try to work around that. But I understand Mr. McPherson, one of my clients, is ready. Is that because he's on Zoom? Oh, he's here.
Yep.
Oh, he's right behind us, behind the locked door. He's right there in the detention area. So
Okay.
as we get him sitting next to me, that's a ready plea right now.
Okay, all right, sir. We'll wait for you.
McPherson, number 1516, if I remember my numbers correctly.
Okay, we'll wait for you. Thank you. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Law, and this is the state all-purpose misdemeanor calendar. This is a criminal misdemeanor calendar with the State Court of Fulton County, in which individuals' cases have already been accused. Most folks have already had their initial appearance, and bonds have already been set. Today, we're going to get a status of the case to see how the defendant would like to move forward, either to accept a plea offer from the prosecution or to enter a plea of not guilty and have the case further noticed for trial. Other matters that we may address include bond modification as well as probation revocation matters. If you're a defendant charged with one or more misdemeanor offense, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say about the facts of your case, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Presently, we have positions 15 and 16 on our SAP calendar, State versus DeMarcus McPherson. Mr. McPherson, good morning. I just want to remind you that you have been advised of your rights. We are addressing two cases. Position 15 is 23 CR 7432E, in which you are accused of battery, family violence from September 15th, 2023. Your second case is 23 CR 7709E, in which you're accused of criminal trespass, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, and theft by shoplifting. And this stems from a October 23rd and November 17th, 2023 incidents. Your attorney is Mr. Michael McLean. Mr. McLean, how are we proceeding?
This is a negotiated plea on both cases, Your Honor, number 15 and number 16. I have already completed the contact information for probation because I know that one of those two definitely involved certain special conditions of probation. The other case, I think, was not requiring a special condition of probation. And so the state, I will just tune my ear up to hear what the state is saying in terms of balance what on that one. So as to, on the contact sheet, tell the probation department which case is there.
Understood. Mr. Pierre Thomas, good morning, sir. What's the recommendation for positions 15 and 16?
Good morning, Your Honor. The recommendation for position 15, case ending in 7432E, is for the defendant to serve 12 months on probation, to serve 194 days in custody, credit for the 97 days that he's already served. Looks like from November 17, 2023 to February 26, 2024. For the balance to be probated, for him to serve 40 hours of community service, for him to complete the family violence intervention program, for him to have no further contact with Tieshonda, Tieshounda, Bell, for him to stay away from the location of 6350 Oakley Road, Unit 303 in Union City, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia. That is to be served concurrently with the next case, which is 23 CR 007709E as a global plea. The recommendation in that case is going to be on count 1, criminal trespass, for him to serve 12 months probation concurrent with count 3. On count 2, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, for him to serve 12 months probation concurrent with count 3 as well. And count 3 is theft by shoplifting. And the recommendation on that is for the defendant to serve 12 months on probation, to serve 194 days in custody, credit for the 97 days that he's already served. For the balance to be probated, for him to stay away from the Walmart located at 4735 State Route 138 in Union City, Georgia, and Fulton County, Georgia, 30291. So in totality, Your Honor, the plea as a whole is 12 months probation to serve 194 days in custody, credit for the 97 days that he's already served, for the balance to be probated, for him to stay away from that Walmart located at 4735 State Route 138 in Union City and Fulton County, 303291, and for him to have no further contact with Tieshonda Bell, and then also to stay away from that location of 6350 Oakley Road, Unit 303 in Union City, Georgia.
Okay. Mr. McLean, I think it is probation for at least the remainder of, I'm trying to figure out, I think he's got 151 days left.
Right. So what I'm saying is, on the one case, it's definitely a typical probated scheme of things in terms of the conditions and the procedure. Would it be permissible, in the opinion of the state, to refer to the shoplifting case as a time served balance suspended case? Because the only condition is stay away from the Walmart. And as a special condition, it doesn't require him to do anything other than simply to stay away from a location.
Your Honor, we ask that the balances run concurrent on probation for both.
I understand.
Any particular reason why it should not be concurrent? It appears that it's trying to simply make sure that he stays away from Walmart, but the pivotal factor is that he completes his FVIP and community service.
Right. Right. Those are definitely probated matters.
So I'll keep everything concurrent on probation. Anything else, Mr. McLean?
Nothing, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. McLean, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for both cases?
We do.
All right. Mr. McPherson, have you consumed, I'm sorry, I don't think I placed you under oath. Let me place you under oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's been going on in your cases so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with, you can put your arm down, sir. Thank you. Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to plead guilty to both cases?
No, ma'am.
Has it been explained to you that if you decide to accept this plea offer for both cases, that you would give up your constitutional right to a trial before a judge or a jury? You will not have the opportunity to have the assistance of counsel to go back to court, confront your accuser, challenge the evidence that may be presented against you, present your own defenses and mitigating factors if you choose to do so, and have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of battery, family violence from a September 15th, 2023 incident?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead?
I plead guilty.
How do you plead to criminal trespass, willful obstruction of an officer from October 22nd, 2023?
Plead guilty.
And how do you plead to theft by shoplifting from a November 17, 2023 incident?
Plead guilty.
All right, sir. Your sentence is going to, for the battery family violence, is 12 months to serve 194 days. Credit for time served 97 days. You will, if you have no other holds other than these two cases, then you will report to probation next Tuesday before 3 p.m. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The probation office is located at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. You have to report there next Tuesday before 3 p.m. While you're on probation, you will complete 40 hours of community service and a domestic violence intervention program. You must enroll in the domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released. Because of the short time frame you have, it is imperative that you enroll within 30 days. You're also to have no contact with Tashonda Bell and stay away from 6350 Oakley Road, Unit 303 in Union City. Remember, you're to stay away from the entire complex, not just Unit 303. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
For the criminal trespass and the willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, those will be concurrent to count 3, which is theft by shoplifting. And the sentence for the theft by shoplifting sentence is 12 months to serve 194 days. Credit for time served 97 days. You'll also be on probation, which is concurrent to the first case we mentioned. And for that, you are to stay away from the Walmart at 4735 State Route 138, Union City, Fulton County. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so no contact with Tashonda Bell, stay away from Oakley Road apartment complex, stay away from the Walmart in Union City, and enroll in domestic violence program within 30 days. Don't forget that you'll also have to do 40 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency.
Thank you.
All right. And remember
Your
to
Honor,
report to probation every month.
I'm going to give him a piece of paper that has the address of probation and the date of Tuesday, March 5th.
Yes, that would be correct.
Thank
And
you.
my apologies, Your Honor. Our office was not able to get in contact with Ms. Bell. If we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated.
To Shonda Bell, to Shonda Bell. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. McPherson. Best of Mr. McLean, do you have to speak to the individuals behind you?
For the most part, no, Your Honor, almost exclusively no. I do need to speak to Mr. Bebner, and I do need the social worker for Mr. Beasley.
All right. ACDC, who do you have? Good morning, Deputy Milton.
Good morning, Your Honor. Danisha Morris, I don't know if Mr. McLean needs to talk to her.
It would be good to have a very brief conversation. I think that will be probably less than 5 minutes, maybe less than 2.
All right,
And
Mr.
what we
McLean.
could do is we could do a Zoom breakout. I could sign in from my telephone as a Zoom device and
Okay.
do it
As
that
soon
way.
as soon as you log onto the Zoom session, Ms. Strong will place you and Fulton ACDC in a breakout session. Oh, Miss Lewis. All right, Miss Lewis, good morning.
No, the alternative, Your Honor, would be I could just simply step out and call because I have
Yes.
on.
Are the phones accessible?
Yes, Your Honor, I was able to reach them this morning by phone.
All right, please do so,
Um,
whichever you're comfortable with. In the
the num-
meantime, yes, Deputy Milton,
I can go ahead and give him my number.
do you want to put it in the chat to courtroom 2?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. In the meantime, is Eric Parker available? Eric Parker the second, position 19?
No.
Okay,
And Your Honor, I also need to speak with him.
all right. As soon as he's available, we'll place you in a breakout session.
Thank
Now-
you.
Now, Deputy Milton is not speaking of the 8114 number, is she?
No, 81.
You'll have to check the chat on the courtroom 2 computer.
Right, right.
Oh, I see. Okay, I've got that one. Okay, I'll dial that one in just a sec.
All right.
Eric Parker the third should be coming up on jail iPhone, jail court's iPhone.
Thank you, Deputy. Is any of Miss Vigiletti's clients available?
She's speaking to a few of them right now. I have a few on the probation calendar,
Let me see what we're talking.
probation revocation calendar.
Yeah, I'll be glad to take cases on either calendar, whoever's available. Looks like both the PDs are unavailable.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see. Miss Thomas, what do you need now? Someone said, could you please? All
Good
right.
morning.
Yeah, I see your chat and we'll make a note to
Thank you.
Mr. McLean. Thank you.
Ms. Fuck or Ms. Strong,
Yes.
Yes.
can I ask, I'm here with Marvin Seals. we're talking about a 2019 theft by shoplifting, and he just doesn't remember it. And I don't actually have any, like, the accusation or the warrants for him. Could you share something so we could talk about this case? Because I'm not sure what we're talking about here this morning.
Is that the information that you were inquiring, or were you asking?
No, I actually
okay.
have the report on Marvin Seals, so I will share that with you.
Okay.
Not a problem. Okay, Miss Vigiletti, I just sent, so you should have it shortly.
Continue to help the public with tempo. I don't have to, once I get out, I'll go direct to you. So, I'm excited. I didn't eat it. A lot of water.
Okay. Your Honor, the number 17 plea is ready for the court.
All right, thank you so much.
That will be a negotiated plea, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Falk or Mr. Pierre Thomas? Okay. This is State versus Dionysia Morris, case number 24 CR 000750. Ms. Morris, my name is Judge Law. Can you see me and your attorney on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'd like to remind you that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Mr. McLean. This is going to be a negotiated plea hearing. So may I place you under oath for the purposes of the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation for Ms. Morris's case? She's charged with giving false information to a law enforcement officer.
That is correct, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is 30 days, credit for time served, 15 days, release time served.
All right.
And we would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
And we do.
All right. Ms. Morris, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And has it been explained to you that if you decide to plead guilty, you would have to give up your rights to a trial in front of a judge or jury? You will not have the opportunity to challenge the evidence brought against you, confront your accuser, present any defenses or arguments, and have the state carry its burden to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of giving false information to an officer?
Guilty.
Your sentence is to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. It's basically time served, and that completes your sentence. If you have no other holds at the jail, you should be released within 24 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right.
Very good. Thank you.
Mhm. Deputy Milton is not there yet. Okay. Miss Lewis, we can go ahead and mute Fulton ACDC presently. Courtroom 2, do you have anyone else who's ready?
One through at this point now 14.
And Mr. McLean, Mrs. Thomas from probation has put information in the chat that any cases that go on probation, please email that contact information to her particular email address. It's on the chat feature to you.
Today, Your Honor, we're in pretty good shape on that because we've already filled those forms out.
Okay, so as soon as they're done, please email them to Ms. Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm just waiting on anyone else that's ready for to address that case, plea or not.
Victor Vega. Okay.
We have position number 32.
Thank you. This is Victor Vega, accused of simple battery, 2 counts of simple battery from a July 15th, 2022 incident under accusation number 23 CR 5608H. Mr. Vega, you've been reminded of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Vigiletti. How are we proceeding, Ms. Vigiletti?
Yes, Judge, we'd like to discuss the possibility of a non-negotiated plea this morning.
All right. So, Mr. Vega, what's going to happen is that the prosecution is going to let us know what they are offering if you decide to plead guilty or no contest. And then Ms. Vigiletti, your attorney, will argue for an alternative disposition or sentence. And I will let you know which alternative I will select. Ms. Falk?
Yes, Your Honor. Just out of curiosity, what part of this is non-negotiated? Because it is a time-served plea with conditions.
Yes, I thought that that might be helpful for you. Jacqueline Cortez Sanchez is the mother of Victor Vega's children. He has 2 boys, 9 and 3, and he does have them every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They've been successfully co-parenting ever since they broke up. This incident happened shortly before they broke up, and so the no contact would make things difficult. So that's really our question here this morning.
Okay. Let's see, because I want to check our contact with Miss Sanchez. I know we informed her of the plea recommendation and requested a call back. So if we could just sound for her,
Sure.
and see if she is
Jacqueline.
present.
Jacqueline Cortez Sanchez. If you are present, please start your video and unmute your Zoom screen. No. Hello.
Okay. And I just need to look up one more thing to make sure, see if we'd had any previous contact as far as what her wishes were. But the reason the state would have asked for a no further contact is, Your Honor, at the time, since we re-communicated the recommendation to her but did not receive a response from her, normally we ask for no further contact until she is present to actually state what kind of contact she wishes to have with the defendant. So that is a pretty standard part of our recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, normally I would have called her myself, except I just met Mr. Vega about a half hour ago.
Well, the compromise would be no contact with Miss Jacqueline Cortez Sanchez if the state is proceeding as it is, but I can allow for third-party transfer of the children if they're continuing their co-parenting in that manner.
The state has no objection to that. I mean, again, the recommendation is consistent with what we would do in any event where we have not received from the victim definitive response to whether she wants contact or not.
Yeah, I understand. I do, because Mr. Vega does have the children 3 days a week. They also talk about that in addition to you know, it's not just contact for transfer, it's also contact for who has lessons on this day and, you know.
Understood, understood.
So
But
I think we need to just speak briefly.
all right, all right. So tell me what's your recommendation, Ms. Falk?
Oh, sorry, Your Honor. Our recommendation is 12 months probation, serve 30 days. He would receive credit for time served for the amount of time he's been in jail, which we were not able to get that information. So if Ms. Vigiletti could provide how many days he's actually served in the jail at this point. No further contact with Jacqueline Cortez Sanchez. Stay away from 7000 Goodson Street, Union City. 40 hours of community service and 8 weeks of anger management. Count 2 would merge with count 1. This is essentially an incident that happened in July of 2022, where the defendant pushed Miss Jacqueline Cortez Sanchez against a wall during a dispute and pulled her hair.
All right, Ms. Vigiletti?
Yes, Judge, Officer St. Cyrin just confirmed that he was arrested on the 12th, so this would be a time served plea. And like I said, Judge, they were in the process of breaking up, and for the past 1.5, almost 2 years, have been very successful co-parents. And so I completely understand why the state has asked for no contact. I just don't know in this case that it's realistic for Mr. Vega to agree to no contact when he has his kids 3 days a week, she has the kids 4 days a week. Aside from that, I think we're prepared to proceed today. And so if you do plan to accept the state's recommendation of no contact, I think Mr. Vega and I just need to have another quick chat.
Was he married to Miss Vega at any time, or Cortez Sanchez?
No, Judge, they weren't married. They were in a long-term relationship. Their oldest child is 9 years old.
And you said they're broken up.
They have broken up. This incident happened shortly before they broke up, just a couple of months before they broke up. So they have been successfully co-parenting for
Okay,
over 1.5 years now.
all right. I'll allow for no violent contact with Miss Jacqueline Cortez Sanchez. And if she's not comfortable with that, she can definitely reach out to the victim advocate's office to see a modification if she believes that she doesn't want contact. The other option is to file a legitimation action for him and to get a court order to establish his paternity, and then of course seek a court order for the schedule for parenting. Which one would he prefer?
Yeah. Yes, they have not had violent contact, so I think Mr. Vega is very happy with a no violent contact order. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Vega, please raise your right hand for purposes of the plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you may put your hand down, sir. And Miss Vigiletti, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID for this case?
Yes, we do for the purposes of the plea.
Okay, I just saw in the chat that we've got credit for 15 days for Mr. Vega. Would you agree?
Yes, Judge, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, 15 days.
All right. So, Mr. Vega, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood what's been going on in your case so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea today?
No, Your Honor.
If you decide to plead guilty to 1 count of simple battery, you would have to give up your constitutional right to go back to court and have a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, present your own defenses and mitigating factors, as well as have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to 1 count of simple battery?
Yes, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I can't hear you.
Guilty, Your Honor.
Count 2, simple battery, will merge into count 1. Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 30 days. Credit for time served 15 days. If you have no other cases holding you at the jail, you'll be released within 24 hours and you must report to probation next Tuesday, March 5th, before 3 p.m. While you're on probation, you will complete 40 hours of community service and you will complete 8 anger management classes. These are 8 weekly anger management classes. You must begin those classes within 30 days of being released. Your community service must be done at any nonprofit agency, but it cannot be a school and it cannot be a church. While you're on probation, you are also to have no violent contact with Jacqueline Cortez Sanchez. That means you cannot have any contact that involves physical or verbal altercations. Do you understand?
On.
All right. Considering the fact that I've modified it from no contact to no violent contact, I'm also requiring that you cannot cohabitate with Miss Cortez Sanchez. That means you cannot live with her.
On.
No consumption of illegal drugs, no weapons, no firearms, and you must report to probation every month.
On.
I guess you can go to 7,000 Goodson Street, but you cannot live there. Do you understand?
It's on.
Okay.
And Judge, could I ask, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask earlier, Mr. Vega does concrete work, construction work that is sort of difficult to, it's not very flexible. Once he completes the community service and anger management, would you be open to a non-reporting status on his probation?
Not really, because I've amended it to no violent contact without any input from the alleged victim. So I think we need some monitoring.
Okay,
It's only once a month. It's not every day. All right. We can make time for the next 12 months. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Vega.
thank you, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Miss Vigiletti, or Deputy, whichever cases y'all are ready with. Oh, Miss Vigiletti, FYI, position 26, Cortez Rucker, has been
Yes.
transferred to the DA's office.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Position number 27.
All right, thank you. This is State versus Marvin Allen Seals. Case number is 20 CR 4576B. Mr. Seals has been accused of theft by shoplifting from August 20th, 2019. Mr. Seals, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Miss Vigiletti. How are we proceeding, Miss Vigiletti?
Yes, Judge, Mr. Seals would like to accept the plea this morning, so we just ask that the court accepts the recommendation of the state.
All right.
And
Yes, go ahead.
sorry, Your Honor. Ms. Vigiletti, when was the defendant arrested?
No, I just need social.
Oh, I see. This last time, do you remember when you were
Sounds like.
12 for this.
February 12th? I can get confirmation, but Mr. Seals believes it was February 12th.
Okay, so Your Honor, the state's recommendation on this theft by shoplifting, given the fact that this case was from 2019, is 30 days, credit for time served 15 days from February 12th to February 27th, closed time served. And we would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea.
We do.
All right. Mr. Seals, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am, period.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And has she explained to you that if you plead guilty to this charge, that you will have a theft by shoplifting conviction on your record?
She explained to me.
All right. And if you have more than 3 convictions on your record, any subsequent arrest for shoplifting is automatically a felony. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Are you still willing to proceed with this plea?
Yes,
If you decide to plead guilty to this charge, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not have the opportunity to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
yes.
How do you plead to 1 count of theft by shoplifting from August 20th, 2019?
Guilty.
Your sentence is to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. That concludes your case. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Judge, I believe I have some more people to speak with now.
That'll be fine. Is Mr. McLean ready to address any of his cases?
No, he is not.
All right. Just let me know if either attorney is ready or if Miss McLeod's case is ready. She's still with us on Zoom.
Okay, Mr. Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy. All right. We'll be in a brief recess until the defense attorneys are ready. Thank you. Mr. McLean, we ready?
Your Honor, the nature of the charge in number 10 is one that we do occasionally encounter in SAP. And procedurally, I've asked him for the phone number of a person who could actually perform the purge today. And I'm going to call that person in just a moment and see if they can come down to the courthouse or do it electronically on 376 is the number.
Okay. Oh, how many days has he been in jail? 7 days?
Let's see. I don't have that information.
Okay. Mr. Pierre Thomas, what was the recommendation for position 10?
It's simply that he pays the purge amount, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir. We'll just hold on that. And are you ready on any other cases?
Well, let's see. On everybody that was announced as a negotiated plea, if they're in the room, that's ready. The only other hangup is Mr. Beasley's social worker visit.
Okay. With whom have you spoken in the courtroom, in courtroom 2, that you believe is ready for a plea?
I understand Mr. Dewberry may be here, so that's time served, balance suspended. That would be very efficient to take that one.
James Dewberry, are you in the courtroom?
Number 11. He apparently is here.
All right. Is that your case, Mr. Pierre Thomas or Ms. Falk?
I believe it's Ms. Falk's case, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Position 11 is case number 24 CR 746, State versus James Dewberry, accused of criminal trespass from a February 13th, 2024 incident. Mr. Dewberry, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. McLean. And for purposes of the plea, may I place you under oath? Mr. Dewberry, may I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McLean, Ms. Falk, what's the recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 12 months probation, serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days. That's going to be from February 13th to February 27th of 2024. Balance suspended, stay away from 1079 North Avenue Northeast, which is Buddy's gas station. The state would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of this plea.
We do.
All right. Mr. Dewberry, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney services?
Yes, ma'am.
And is anyone forcing you to plead guilty today?
No, ma'am.
If you decide to plead guilty, you would have to give up your right to a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not get a chance to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence that would be brought against you, and have the state carry its burden to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of criminal trespass at Buddy's gas station?
Guilty. Plead.
Repeat. How do you plead, sir?
Plead guilty. Plead guilty.
All right, sir. I'll accept your guilty plea. Your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended, which means that your jail time is concluded. However, you cannot return to the Buddy's gas station at 1079 North Avenue in Northeast Atlanta. If you return to that location, you will be arrested and charged with trespass again. And we get to do this all over again. Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, man, it won't be.
All right, so unfortunately, Buddy's does not want you around anymore, so stay away from there. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Who else do we have? Anybody?
Azan Mohammed, President.
Your Honor, I believe we have ready number 4 and number 5. One of those two is a null cross on a FTA, I would imagine.
All right.
I believe I recall. Mahmoud Azadi. Good, that's it. I'll turn this in for you. Thanks. Good to meet you.
That's it. Where are you going?
Mr. Azadi?
Who's coming up?
Your Honor, this is Mr. Mahmoud Azadi.
Yes, sir.
He speaks English very well. He grew up here.
All right. Mr. Azadi, first name Mahmoud, case number is 23CR6700J. Mr. Azadi had 2 traffic-related matters from October 22nd, 2023. Apparently an equipment violation, brake light or light turn signal violation, and not having a license on person. Unfortunately, Mr. Azadi got arrested on a bench warrant, a failure to appear. And that case was 24 FTA 163 on January 18th, 2024. So I gather at the present time, we are going to have a plea hearing on this traffic-related matter. Mr. Azadi, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Please raise your right hand for purposes of the plea. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I do, Judge.
All right. Mr. Pierre Thomas, what's the recommendation for Mr. Azadi?
Your Honor, the recommendation is for the defendant to serve 12 months on probation, to serve 4 days in custody, credited for the 2 days that he's already served in custody. For the probation to be terminated upon the completion of the special condition or completion of the fine. The fine for count 1 would be $265. As it relates to count 2, 12 months probation to be terminated upon completion or payment of the fine. The fine for count 2 is $10. This is to be served concurrent with count 1. So for a total of the sentence, it is 12 months on probation, 4 days in custody, credit for the 2 days that he's already served. And for that, the probation to be terminated upon completion of a total fine of $275. And in exchange for this plea, the state agrees to null pros position 5, looks like 24 FTA 000163. And if we can get the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID, that'd be greatly appreciated.
We do so stipulate.
Mr. Azadi, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No,
And have you understood the
No.
proceedings?
I'm sorry.
You have to speak up.
Okay.
She said, have you understood these proceedings?
Yes,
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
yes,
Is anyone forcing you to enter a guilty plea to these traffic-related matters?
no,
If you decide to plead guilty, you would be giving up your right to challenge these charges in a court of law before a judge or a jury. You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence brought against you, and have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to one count of a brake light turn signal violation and failure to have license on person?
Guilty.
Your sentence for the brake light violation is 12 months probation to pay a $265 fine. You'll be given credit for the 2 days that you've been in jail. And for the failure to have license on person, 12 months probation, serve 4 days, credit 2 days, pay a $10 fine. Your total fine is $275. Your probation date is March 5th, 2024, before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street. Once you're released from the Fulton County Jail, if you pay your fine anytime this week, your probation will terminate. That means you won't even have to report next week. But you have to go down to 185 Central Avenue to pay that fine.
Thank you.
Otherwise, you report to probation next Tuesday and you start paying an additional $45 in probation fees. It's up to you.
I'm gonna pay.
No driving unless you have a valid driver's license that's stuck on you at all times that you're driving. You must have adequate insurance and proper registration for the vehicle.
Sure.
Thank you.
Your Honor, precisely what was the case number again?
23 CR 006 700J.
Thank you.
And the bench warrant matter ending in 163 is null pros, position 5.
Thank you.
I have, Ms. McLeod, was he on client, Mr. Eric Parker in Melville?
Thank you. Miss Maureen McLeod, are you available?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Thank you. Miss Lewis, could you place medical and Miss McLeod in a breakout, please?
Got 3 people.
Yes, ma'am.
Medical, you will see a message on your screen to join a breakout session
5, 6. First.
with Miss McLeod. And Mr. McLean, are we ready with any of the other cases? Either you or Miss Vigiletti?
We do have Mr. Curry here. Sean Curry is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, medical, you'll
Curry is
see a
number
message on your,
5.
oh, okay, I'm so sorry, Mr. McLeod, Mr. McLean.
Sure.
Medical, you will see a message on your screen to join a breakout session.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning, sir. Miss Lewis, you may have to place medical in the breakout.
Ma'am?
No, I'm not addressing you. Thank you. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm multitasking, Mr. McLean. I do apologize.
We're all trying to.
Okay. And your client's name again, please?
Sean Curry. He is number 5, 6, 5, and 6 on the probation.
Okay, thank you. This is, and my probation officer is this morning, Officer Brooks.
And to cut to the chase, as they say, I believe that the probation recommendation will be to continue on probation. He is enthusiastically accepting that recommendation.
All right. Unfortunately, I have to put Officer Brooks' information. Miss Thomas, would you be able to reach out to Officer Brooks? Oh, there she is. Okay, great. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Officer Brooks, we are addressing Sean Donald Curry, positions 5 and 6 on the revocation calendar. And his case numbers are 22 CR 8360A. And the probation violation case number is 24 PV 187. Officer Brooks, may I place you under oath?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And the reason we're seeking a revocation from Mr. Curry?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking a revocation because he did not complete the anger management portion of his conditions.
How many classes was he required to complete?
He was required to complete 2 classes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else?
He also still has outstanding probation fees, and he failed to report on 2 times on 2 times last year. And that's it, Your Honor.
And the state is recommending that he continue on probation?
1 second, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. He still has 7 months and 20 days remaining on probation.
All right, thank you. And I gather, Mr. McLean, you are accepting your client's accepting the recommendation?
He is, Your Honor. I've given him the address in writing of 132 Mitchell Street, 2nd floor in downtown Atlanta. And we will tell him the day and date that he should show up there in person now.
All right. I will accept the recommendation. This matter is recorded as a probation violation. He must report to probation, I think it's within 48 hours. So he has to report on Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street. Does he have any other holds?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor. We do have
Alright.
some difficulty researching that.
No, I don't know.
He doesn't believe he does.
All right, so Mr. Curry, if you have no holds, you should be released within 24 hours. And on today's Tuesday, so on
Yeah.
Thursday, you
Yes,
must
ma'am.
report to probation at 132 Mitchell Street. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Officer
we-
Brooks?
Yes, Your Honor. Can we put a stipulation that he complete his condition in 30 days?
Oh, I'm going to do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Curry,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
are to report to probation, as I was saying, this Thursday.
Yes, ma'am.
And before I add any more stipulations, did you have a question?
No, ma'am, my lawyer gave me the address and the time to report in, and the address, so I know where to report Thursday.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You have 2 anger management classes to complete, which are weekly classes. You must begin those classes within 30 days from today.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
not sure whether he can complete it because it's going to be subject to availability, Officer Brooks.
Sure.
So I want him to at least begin the classes within 30 days.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
you also need to be up to date with your probation fees and any fines or surcharges. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And if you complete the 2 anger management classes and you pay off all your outstanding probation fees, victim fund fees, and any fines that were imposed, your probation will terminate.
Thank you, ma'am.
But that's entirely up to you.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so you see my instructions.
Yeah.
Restart the class within 30 days.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. You're okay. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. What do we do with the probation violation case, Officer Brooks? Do we just null process it or you close it out?
You talking about if he completes his conditions?
Yeah, you got the PB case number, position number 6 for Curry.
Once he completes everything, then yes, we close it and the paperwork goes to the judge to sign off on.
All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
He's the
Okay.
same record.
Thank you. All right, do we have another revocation case for
Yeah.
Officer Brooks? Okay.
Yeah, position 1 and 2.
All right. This is State versus Yardley, Emil Alford, case number 21 CR 61018. And the probation violation case number is 24 PB 189. Mr. Alford, this is a probation revocation case for the underlying conviction for simple battery, family violence. You have been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Officer Brooks, you've been placed under oath. Why are we seeking a revocation?
Yes, Your Honor, we're seeking a revocation because he also has not completed his conditions of probation. He's not completed his anger management class, and he failed to report on 3 occasions last year.
Is he behind on fees and funds?
Yes, Your Honor, he is behind on probation fees and victim crime fund fees.
Mr. McLean? Oh, and what's the recommendation, Officer Brooks? Excuse me.
Yes, Your Honor. We're recommending, he has 6 months and 13 days left, so we are going to recommend that he continue on probation and ask the 30 days to start.
And how many anger management classes?
1 second, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, we're just needling you for all that info.
My apologies. My apologies. 1 second, Your Honor. I need to pull him up. Okay, it'll be just 1 more second. I need to pull up his disposition. He was required to do 12 weeks of anger management classes.
12 weeks. And how many have been completed? Any?
No, he hasn't completed any classes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Mr.
Your Honor.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Mr. McLean?
And was there a fine also or not?
Give me a moment. I was trying to pull up his disposition. I don't see a fine. He was supposed to be on probation. Oh, that was a $200 fine. I'm sorry. Just needed to scroll it up.
You need a match.
$200 fine, and he was to be on probation to complete the classes.
Over today.
And he was convicted on May 10th, 2023. And have no violent contact with Taylor Davis. Officer Brooks, does his fine been paid?
No, it has not been paid, Your Honor.
All right. So anything else, Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, he has a fee. There's the first call of the day there. Hope that's the last. I think the lozenges actually may cost me a cost. Maybe I should stay away from them. So also pay $49 a month, I believe is his obligation. Do the 12 weeks of anger management and the $200 fine. I believe those are basically the 3 elements.
Mr. McLean, I'm so sorry. What is your argument? So he has to pay the fine, he has to pay probation fees, and he has to do 12 weeks of anger management and report to probation every month. That's what he agreed to in May of last year.
Right.
So what's going on this year?
He is remorseful that he has not been organized enough to get this done, and would ask the court to accept the idea of the recommendation of continue so that he could get those things accomplished.
Is he employed?
You have a job?
Yes, Ms. Lewis?
Judge, the fine was suspended on this case.
he didn't have to pay no fine.
Oh,
Okay.
$50 fine was suspended.
Thank you.
I don't know what it's in there, but it says fine suspended.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
So it's the anger management classes, the probation fees, the victim crime fund, and reporting every month. Will he be able to comply with this schedule?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I will continue him on probation. This will be recorded as a probation violation. He is to report to probation this Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. He must begin his anger management classes within 30 days of being released, and he must continue those weekly classes until all 12 classes are completed. He must be up to date with his probation fees and his victim crime fund before I place him on a non-reporting status. So he must be up to date with outstanding probation fees, victim crime fund, and complete 12 classes, and then probation will be non-reporting. He's got 6 months and 13 days. It's up to him to decide how fast he'll get it done.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to medical for Mr. Parker and Ms. McLeod. Ms. McLeod, how would we like to proceed with Mr. Parker?
Your Honor, this is going to be a negotiated plea.
All right. To Mr. Parker's case. Give me a moment.
I apologize. What's the name?
This is Eric Parker II, position number 19, case number 24CR 465E. Mr. Parker, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you choose to say in open court or this virtual court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Ms. Maureen McLeod. Mr. Parker is accused of battery against a female who is pregnant and cruelty in the 3rd degree from a January 21st, 2024 incident. This is going to be a negotiated plea hearing. Mr. Parker, if you could please raise your right hand. For purposes of the plea, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Pierre Thomas, what is the recommendation for this gentleman?
Kind of the recommendation from the state on count 1, battery against a female who is pregnant, 12 months probation to serve 74 days in custody, credit for the 37 days that he's already served in custody. Looks like he was booked in on January 22nd, 2024. For the balance to be probated, for him to complete 8 weeks of anger management, 40 hours of community service, and for him to have, I think that might have been changed to family violence intervention program. One moment, Your Honor. But for him to have no further contact with Sierra Parker, Ceaira Parker, for him to have a stay away from 1341 B East Washington Avenue in East Point, and for count 2, for him to have 12 months probation, for that to be served concurrently with count 1. Our office has been able to get in contact with the victim, Ms. Parker. She may or may not be on the Zoom today, so if we could sound for her in accordance with Marcy's law, that'd be greatly appreciated. And if we could have the defense stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID as well.
We do stipulate to that, and Ms. Parker is actually on the Zoom. I have spoken with her, and there's one issue. We would ask that this be no further violent contact because they're brother and sister. And that's is my understanding of what she also wants, but she's on the Zoom.
All right. Miss Sierra Parker, if you would like to.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Miss Parker, do you have a jacket?
A jacket? Oh.
Yes, or something.
Yes, ma'am.
This is not appropriate wear for even virtual court.
I got you.
And that was 8 weeks of anger management, Your Honor.
All right, so not FVIP. All right, got it. Thank you.
I believe she just had a baby, Your Honor. A young.
Understood. All right, Miss Parker, Miss Parker, what are you doing?
Oh, I have my son with me. I'm mommy right now.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you have anything you say will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, do you have any problems with contact with your brother, Eric Parker?
No, ma'am, I don't.
All right, you're comfortable with him being in the same room with you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Pierre Thomas, any comment?
No comment, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Parker, you can switch off your video. I don't really like children on a criminal Zoom hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I don't have a problem with no violent contact as long as he understands that any violation of the conditions can result in his probation being revoked and ending up serving the rest of the year in prison.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, Miss Parker, please mute. Sorry. Thank you. All right. Ms. McLeod, I'm sorry, did you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
I did, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Parker, we can unmute. Have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on so far?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with the legal services you've received?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you decide to plead guilty to battery against a female who's pregnant and cruelty to children, that will go on your criminal history record?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you also understand that by pleading guilty, you'll be giving up your constitutional right to challenge these charges in a court of law in front of a judge or a jury? You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence that is brought against you, present any defenses or mitigating factors, and have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of battery against a female who's pregnant? Mr. Parker, how do you plead to this charge?
Not guilty.
Repeat.
Not guilty.
All right. And how do you plead to cruelty in the third degree?
Guilty.
All right. Ms. McLeod, it appears your client is pleading not guilty, so I assume then he wants a trial?
That was not my understanding, Your Honor. I can speak with him again to see if anything has changed since we spoke.
All right. Mr. Parker.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to understand what I am saying?
No.
All right. Ms. Lewis, if you could place medical and Ms. McLeod in a breakout, please.
They should be able to return back to that breakout room. They just gotta go back.
Deputy at medical, would you be able to join the breakout room that you were in? Mr. Parker, are you awake?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you need to focus on what your attorney is saying to you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
If they don't know how to put themselves back in there, I'll just create another.
You have to do it. And Ms.
Yeah.
McLeod, you can join the same breakout room that you were.
I just put them in a new one, Judge.
Yes, I don't see the old one.
Okay.
I'll just put them in a new one.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Courtroom 2, Ms. Vigiletti or Mr. McLean, I'm ready to address any of the cases that you have.
Mr. McLean stepped out and Ms. Vigiletti is speaking to one of her clients right now.
Okay. Let me know when they're ready to address any of the folks in the courtroom right now. Okay.
Your Honor, I just spoke with Mr. McLean in regards to Mr. Cousins' case. And I am trying to ascertain, and I don't know if the litigation manager or the jail could assist me with this, where a purge amount, how to pay a purge amount via phone.
Oh, that would have to be a jail question.
Well, first of all, I got a question for you for that case. I just sent a chat to your judge regarding that case. He's in jail on an FTA bench warrant from Judge Roth for this case. He made that purge amount. I'm trying to figure out where you guys got this purge amount, because he made his purge amount already on this case, on his last arrest on this case back in May of 22. So this is a bench warrant that he felt to appear on for this case. It has a $2,000 surety issued by Judge Roth. He already did a purge amount on this case back on May the 26th when he was arrested on booking number 2207671, and he was released on June the 1st of 2022, which was a purge amount that is in the thing was $188 for each charge. So I'm still trying to figure out where you guys getting the purge amount for this charge, which is a bench warrant that he failed to appear in court with Judge Roth. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. Just one
No,
second.
it makes sense. I think we probably got it from the information in the system, which we, as you know, with Cybergeddon ongoing, we probably didn't realize that the purge amount had been paid and it was an outstanding bench warrant, since I am not seeing on the calendar a FTA number. So
we weren't able to create a lot of FTA
Miss
numbers.
Miss Falk, I'm setting aside the bench warrant and closing the case out as disposed of.
that is fine, Your Honor. And we just need to let Mr. McLean know that, because I know he's kind of trying to get that in order.
Okay,
I
Mr.
do need
McLean?
The bench warrant number, Ms. Falk, the FTA bench warrant number, do you need it?
Yes,
It's
definitely.
gonna be 22.
What position is this that y'all talking
We're
about?
talking about
This is
position number
position 10.
Eugene Cousin, Mr. McLean, the bench warrant is 22000369 FTA is 22-000369 FTA. Would that be correct, Ms.
That's
Lewis?
correct.
Okay. The purge amount was paid and the bench warrant is set aside and the case is closed.
Let me catch up to speed. I just called somebody who was about to get on Zoom and pay the $376, but it was already paid by somebody else.
Apparently, he paid it himself back in last year, but he was arrested on an outstanding bench warrant.
Oh, I understand. So it's basically a big mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything I need to file, Your Honor?
No, I'll enter the order closing the case out.
Okay, and we'll inform his friend who's about to get on Zoom and join us. I don't know which square it is. It may be a Zoom user there.
All right. Just
That's
FYI,
excellent. That's
when a
excellent.
purge amount is paid, normally that case is supposed to be closed out. I really don't know what happened here, but I think the bench warrant and the purge amount may have occurred at the same time. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Good news.
All right, Ms. McLeod, are we ready to resume with Eric Parker?
Yes, Your Honor, we are.
All right, Eric Parker's case again is 24 CR 465E. Again, Mr. Parker, if you, Deputy, if you could unmute medical, please. Mr. Parker, you've just had another conversation with your attorney. Do you understand what is going on right now in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that you are pleading guilty to a battery charge against your sister, who
Yes,
was
ma'am.
pregnant at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you decide to plead guilty, that you will not have the opportunity to go back to court and challenge this charge in a court of law?
Yes,
You will
ma'am.
not have a trial. You will not be able to confront your accuser, have an attorney help you to challenge the evidence brought against you, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand these are the rights you have to give up?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of battery against a female who is pregnant?
Guilty.
How do you plead to one count of cruelty in the third degree?
Yes.
Excuse me. Your sentence for these convictions is 12 months to serve 74 days, credit for time served 37 days. If you have no other cases holding you at the jail, you'll be released within 24 hours. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Next week, next Tuesday, you have to report to the probation office. And you have to report on March 5th before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. You are going to be on probation to do a couple of things. First of all, is to do 8 weeks of anger management classes. And you must start those classes within 30 days of being released. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have to complete 40 hours of voluntary community service work at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school.
Yes, ma'am.
You're to have no violent contact with Sierra Parker. You just saw your sister on the screen with her baby.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
cannot have any arguments with her, and you definitely cannot have any physical fights with her. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and that concludes the sentence. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Your Honor, I neglected to ask the court if the court would consider waiving his first 3 months of probation fees because he has not been working since he's been locked up.
Where was he working before?
He was working in a nightclub, Your Honor.
Which one?
Mr. Parker, what was the name of the club you were working?
Bonfire.
Who?
Bonfire.
What did he say, Miss McLeod?
I am
I
not
think
sure.
he's saying the bonfire. Bonfire.
Bonfire. Well, that's a new one. Okay. I will waive the probation fees for the, what is now, it will be February, March, through the end of April, 2024.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. But Mr. Parker, remember you have to enroll in those anger management classes within 30 days from today. If you don't do so, probation has a right to have you sent back to prison.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right.
Your Honor, that concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you. Have a good one.
You too, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. McLean, we ready?
Mr. Artist, Mr. McNicholas, and Mr. Banks to go forward on anything else for the moment.
I've got a bunch.
My colleague has a bunch.
Let's see.
Can we get that address for the probation office on Mitchell Street again, please? Thank you.
132 Mitchell Street, downtown Atlanta.
Thank you.
Miss Vigiletti, who do we have, please?
This is position 35, Elliot York.
State versus Elliot Hilton York, the second. Case number 17 CR 19209A. Accused of operating a vehicle with a suspended or revoked driver's license and failure to obey traffic signs, signals, and markings from December 15th, 2015. Mr. York, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Miss Vigiletti. Is this going to be a plea?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. York, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Falk?
Your Honor, the state would ask Ms. Vigiletti for the date the defendant was arrested, just for the information for the plea.
I believe he was arrested February 13th, and Officer St. Cyrin is saying the 14th.
Pardon? I missed that last part about the 14th?
Officer St. Cyrin confirmed that it's actually the 14th.
14th. Okay, so 13, 14. Okay, so Your Honor, the state's recommendation is 28 days, credit for time served 14 days. That's going to be from February 14th to February 27th of 2024 on count 1 and 2. This is a time served plea. The state would ask the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and identification for the purposes of the plea.
We do.
And Your Honor, the state's recommendation is in large part, well, in almost all part due to the fact that this is a case from 2015.
Mr. York, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you prepared to give up your rights to challenge these charges in a court of law or in front of a judge or a jury to be able to confront your accuser and have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt?
She's saying, are you okay with giving up your right to go to trial?
How do you plead to one count of operating a vehicle with a suspended or revoked license and failure to obey traffic signs or signals? Repeat.
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance suspended. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. On there. On there.
I'm sorry, I missed the plea because my computer blanked out. What was?
Okay. It was 12, no, was it 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days? Or was it less than that?
It was less than that, Judge. I think it was a 28, served 28 days. credit for
28 days,
time.
credit for time served 14 days. Yeah,
Correct.
balance suspended. It's time served, basically.
Thank you.
Yes,
Giletti, who do we have, please?
position 22 and 23.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Gary Ponder, Judge.
All right, here we go. State versus Gary Raimondo Ponder, 22 CR 5633E, in which Mr. Ponder was accused of fair evasion and criminal trespass from August 22nd, 2022. He's here on a bench warrant matter, and the bench warrant case is 24 FTA 152. Mr. Ponder, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Vigiletti. May I place you under oath? Is this a plea?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Mr. Ponder?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, so Mr. Pierre Thomas, what's the recommendation for the fair evasion and criminal trespass?
Your Honor, this is a time served offer for the defendant to serve 42 days in custody. Credit for the 21 days that he's already served. Looks like from August 22nd, 2022 to August 24th, 2022. And again, it looks like a rearrest on February 10th, 2024 to February 27th, 2024. And in exchange for this guilty plea, the state has agreed to null position 23, which is 24 FTA 000152.
Ms. Vigiletti, do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do.
Thank you. Mr. Ponder, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, Your Honor.
And have you understood what's going on?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
And he, is there something, I mean, I need to see his face.
I'm sorry, I believe he's speaking into the mic, which
You
is
don't have to, sir. You can look at the screen because I just want to make sure that you understand.
Yes,
It's tough enough already with the mask, so. Mr. Ponder, if you decide to plead guilty, you would have to give up your constitutional right to go back to court and have a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not be able to have the assistance of counsel to challenge the charges brought against you. You will not be able to challenge the evidence brought against you, confront your accuser, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead to one count of fair evasion and one count of criminal trespass?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 42 days, credit for time served 21 days, balance suspended. I don't know if you have a stay away from MARTA stations, or is there an active suspension right now?
I'm not sure, Judge. When I looked at the warrant, the suspension was just for last July and August, but I don't know if this incident triggered another suspension. I don't have that information.
Well, given the time frame, I'm not sure. Mr. Ponder, all I can say is stay away from MARTA if you have any active suspensions against you. So it would be highly recommended that you check with the MARTA services or the MARTA police if you have any active suspensions.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right? The bench warrant is null prost. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, I do just have a brief announcement to make to the court and to the public defender's office as well as the clerk's office.
Please proceed.
It appears that Odyssey, we are able to go into our documents tab now and access the documents. So I just wanted to put everybody on notice to see if they're able to do so. I have been able to access my documents again.
Okay.
Yes, we are able to do that.
All right, thank you, Ms. Falk. Ms. Vigiletti, who's your next client?
Yes, Judge, this is Marcus Quavy. Quavy, this is probation position 7 and 8.
Okay. Officer Brooks?
Yes, 1 second, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
Ready? Okay, this is Marcus Quavy, Quevi, case number 23CR3960Y, in which he was convicted of battery at a public transit vehicle or station. Mr. Quavy, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Vigiletti. We have a probation revocation matter with regards to the sentence that you received, and the probation case number is 24 PV 188. Officer Brooks, you are under oath. Could you tell us what were the reasons that a revocation warrant was taken out?
Yes, Your Honor. We placed the warrant because he never reported to probation, never provided proof of submitting to a behavioral health evaluation and completing whatever recommended treatment. He was served for court, and he was supposed to come to court on October 25th of 2023, and he did not come to court, and at that time a warrant was placed.
All right. And what is the state seeking?
He has 8 months and 4 days remaining on probation. We're seeking that he complete the evaluation within 30 days, and that also he pays his probation fees.
So to continue on probation?
Yes, Your Honor, my apologies.
All right, thank you. All right, looks like he had a probation revocation hearing in front of Judge Edie on October 25th, 2023, and you're saying he didn't show up for that?
That is correct, and then the warrant was placed.
All right.
He never even reported to probation prior to that either.
And the plea was on July 11th, 2023. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, Ms. Vigiletti?
Yes, Judge, I spoke with Mr. Quavy today, and he was explaining to me that at the time of not reporting and missing the revocation hearing, he was homeless, struggling with a variety of things. He did want to make sure I let you know today that he actually, due to some court issues in DeKalb, requested to be part of wellness court in DeKalb County. And so when he leaves here, he is moving to a housing program here in Atlanta as part of his wellness court participation in DeKalb. He is participating in an 18 to 24-month program that includes mental health screenings, classes, drug testing, all of that. He's on a much better path than he was on before. I don't foresee him having any issues with probation going forward. But I did want to ask, because he is already participating in this program through DeKalb, I know that Fulton requested a behavioral health evaluation and treatment. If perhaps he could provide proof of the work he's doing as part of this DeKalb wellness court to satisfy that in Fulton County as well.
Right. Officer Brooks, how much is he what is his outstanding fees right now?
Right now, he has a balance of $196, and he has 240 days remaining on probation.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Vigiletti, I'm going to let him continue on probation. I'll give him credit for the time that he's been in custody. He must report to probation this Thursday. Today is Tuesday. He has to be at the probation office this Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street. Within 30 days. Well, is that a problem?
So Mr. Quavy is telling me that because he was released from DeKalb to Fulton on this issue, the first thing he has to do is report to the program when he gets out. So if he could have an additional day, because he might not get out until Thursday morning from the jail. And so if he could have an additional day to report to probation, I think that
I'll
would.
give him on Monday. If he doesn't show up, probation's authorized to file another probation warrant, and this time he'll just be serving out the rest of the 240 days in jail. Unless he wants to finish the 240 days in jail, then that's an option too.
No, absolutely not. Yes, thank
Yeah.
you. Monday would be great.
You can report to probation on Monday, that's March 4th, 2024, before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street. Within 30 days from today, he must undergo a behavioral health evaluation with any qualified healthcare provider. You can do that at Grady or whichever provider he wants to go to, but it must be done within the next 30 days so that by his second probation visit, he can provide the date and the time of that evaluation to probation.
Yep.
He must also complete 20 hours of community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and a school. And that must be completed within 60 days from today.
Understood, Judge.
And once he's completed the community service and the behavioral health evaluation, his probation will be non-reporting.
Okay. And Judge, can I ask, Mr. Clevy, one of the big issues he was having when he was homeless is that he doesn't have an ID, which is leading to him having trouble working. Would the court be willing to assist him with probation fees short-term?
That's why I've required the 20 hours of community service.
Okay. The community service.
It's in lieu of his probation fees that are outstanding right
We're
now.
paying okay, wonderful, thank you. Yeah.
But he needs to understand that if he doesn't complete the community service or the evaluation and treatment, that he needs to continue reporting to Fulton County Probation. Otherwise, he'll have to, get his toothbrush. He'll be here at the jail for an extended time period.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, excuse me. I just need some clarification on the probation fees. I understand the 20 hours community services in lieu of past probation fees. Will he be
Correct.
paying current probation fees or no?
No, he wouldn't waive those.
Okay.
But he needs to make sure he completes the 20 hours of community service within the next 60 days and the behavioral and health evaluation within the next 30 days. Otherwise, just go ahead and issue another warrant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next, we have positions, number 28 and 29, Mr. Simmons.
I'm sorry, Judge, I do need to speak with Mr. Simmons, and I do just very quickly need to write those requirements down for Mr. Clevy.
All right, in that case, Mr. McLean, ready with any of his clients? All right, and Ms. Vigiletti, you need to be on your laptop to go into a breakout with jail court iPhone.
Yes, I am on my laptop. I'm going to speak with Mr. Clevy for just another minute, and then I'll be on Zoom to speak with Mr. Simmons.
Officer Norris, we're going to place you in a breakout session very shortly. Please hold.
Officer Godey.
All right, and then
Does who needs to go out in the breakout room?
jail court iPhone and Olivia Vigiletti, her laptop.
Oh, okay, I see it.
Okay, as soon as she logs, as soon as she comes on, then send them the breakout message.
Okay.
All right. Right, Mr. McLean?
Of any of my clients that are ready for a plea in the courtroom at the moment.
All right. In a moment, or you're ready now?
No, I don't.
Seeing that's the first part. Okay. No, what I was saying was, I don't believe there are any clients that are ready for, we have at least 3 negotiated pleas, but they are not in the courtroom yet.
Okay, all right, just let me know when you're ready. And Miss Vigiletti, as soon as she gets on her laptop, we'll put her in a breakout. Thank you. Okay, we'll be in recess until they're ready. Thank you.
And Miss Lewis, there is a chat message there for you.
Tried to call, but it won't allow me to go through. It said
Oh.
line was busy.
It said the line was busy.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna try it again, maybe I need to dial it from my direct computer. You know, we got these new system things, so I did try to dial the number from my phone, so I'm gonna try to dial it on the computer to see if it goes through. Give me
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Miss Clemens.
Okay, I'm sorry, it froze. I was waiting this whole time, so I'm sorry about that. I
That's
had
okay.
to leave and come back in.
How can we help you?
So I was here to be witness and speak on behalf of the situation. They asked me to attend this morning.
For who?
Miss Maldonado, and there was another lady, Miss Iris. Can't really remember her last name.
Miss Fleming, I think what they're asking is which case are you here for?
Oh, for the simple battery case for Mark Simmons.
Okay. We have not reached that case yet, but we will let you know and sound for you when we do reach that case.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that.
Not a problem, Miss Fleming. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, Ms. Vigiletti?
I think she's walking out from she's walking back from the.
All right, sounds good.
There she is.
Yes, Judge. Sure. Officer St. Cyrin has some announcements to make.
Sorry, this is for Deputy Gothi.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Alfred Banks is on 5 North.
Alfred Banks, and that is on a SAP calendar,
Yes, he's on 5 North.
5 North. Okay, you'll hold for him.
Osmo Banks, 5 North.
Yeah, and then James Artist is on 4 South.
Artist position 2 is at 4 South. Okay,
Artist is
2 and 3.
on 4 South.
Yeah, that's positions 2 and 3.
I apologize. Is Mr. Artist still being reset for Thursday, Ms. Falk?
No, that was Alexander.
That's Alexander Alex.
That is correct. That was Alexander.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Position
you.
1 is reset to Thursday.
My
Yes.
apologies. I did have
Yes,
one.
Your Honor, that case had another, the defendant has 2 cases with the same victim. We would like to give a global recommendation so we can resolve both cases.
Okay. Deputies, any other announcements?
Position 14, he was released.
14, Stephen McNichols is released, so that's further notice for trial. Yes, ma'am?
And that's all at the moment. Oh,
Okay.
position 33 and 34 was released also.
33 and 34, and that would be Tony Wyatt.
Yes.
All right, that's also released and further notice for trial. Okay, that brings us, any others?
That's all at the moment.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Vigiletti, that brings us back to your client at Jail Court iPhone, and the name again, please?
Yes, Judge, this is position 28 and 29, Mark Simmons.
And how are we proceeding?
I'm sorry to do this, but Mr. Simmons does have an open felony. I was hoping to hear back from his felony judge by this morning. I'm wondering if we can reset this case to this coming Thursday, the 29th, just to give me some time to connect with his felony attorney and make sure we're not doing anything that could hurt his case.
I
Miss-
apologize, Ms. Fitch. It's gonna have to be Tuesday. We can't put it anymore on Thursday.
Let me just see, this is Simmons, right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. State of Opens. I'm glad to get Odyssey back, but it's just a tad, giving it time to recover. There we go. Okay. Mhm. All right, looks like Mr. Simmons been in custody since there was a bond forfeiture. He had an FTA from September 21st. And his felony matter appears to be a theft by receiving stolen property.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so this is from a November 24th, 2022 incident.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 FTAs, he's got 2 out of county holds as well.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think because of the 2 out of county holds, 2 FTAs, and this open felony case in which apparently he's got a $10,000 bond on a bench warrant as well.
Yes.
I don't think it will unduly prejudice him to reset it to next Tuesday.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Mr. Position 28 and 29, we're going to reset your case to March 5th at 9 a.m. Mr. Simmons, do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you.
And Your Honor, Ms. Fleming, the victim in this case is here on the line. I just want to confirm that Ms. Fleming did hear that this case is being reset to Tuesday, March 5th.
Miss Fleming, Tiana Fleming? All right, when she comes on, we'll definitely, Miss Fleming, hello?
Yes, I'm here. There's a, can you see me now?
Yes, case is reset to next Tuesday, 9 a.m.
Yes, good morning. Thank you so much. I was able to understand and hear that.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Ms. Fleming.
Mhm.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Miss Deputy, do you have another case up there?
Yes, we have, Mr. Artist, position number 2.
All right. Okay. Is Miss Vigilante, that's your client?
This is Mr. McLean's client. Mr. McLean stepped out. But perhaps while we were waiting, we can look at probation position 9 and 10.
All right. Well, by the way, do you know how we are proceeding on Mr. Artist?
Let me check.
I don't have the announcement list, so I'm just counting on you guys.
According to the announcements, this is going to be a plea.
All right. Deputy Norris, we're going to be with Mr. Artist very soon as his as Mr. McLean comes back into courtroom 2. So please hold. All right, and who do you you have probation revocation? You said it was positions 9 and 10, or?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. This is Officer Brooks present. Great. All right. This is Brett Van Dyne, case number 23 CR 5109D, position number 9 on our revocation calendar, convicted of criminal trespass. And he's got a revocation case 24 PV 186. Mr. Van Dyne, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Miss Vigilante. Officer Brooks, you are still under oath. What was the reason a revocation warrant was issued? And what's the state's recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. We issued a warrant on October the 10th of 2023 when he failed to appear for a court revocation hearing that was filed due to the fact that he had not completed his 100 hours of community service, and then he still at the time owed $98 in probation fees.
All right. And the how much time has he got left, and what's the recommendation?
He has 311 days remaining. The recommendation is going to be that he continue on, but that he be required to complete a specific amount of hours each month.
Okay, thank you. Has he completed any of the 100 hours?
No, he has not. He never even reported to probation, Your Honor.
Oh,
Not even.
Y'all missed him. Okay. Ms. Vigilante?
Yes, Judge. I spoke with Mr. Van Dyne this morning, and shortly after being put on probation for this, he became homeless and ran into some difficult times. He's now living with his sister. He understands his probation requirements. I don't think we'll have any issues going forward.
Do we have a good address on him?
So now that he's living with his sister, he does have an updated address. But he doesn't know it by heart, but I did instruct him when he goes to report to give that updated address, and he does have an updated phone number that I can provide probation.
And is that the address we have is Tree Lodge Parkway. Is that the correct address?
No.
Wakefield Court.
No, Your Honor, he has since moved in with his sister.
And sister's name is?
Aisha Dagida.
Who?
Aisha Dagida.
Aisha Dagida?
I'm sorry, I need more information than that. I'm not about to release him and then have him disappear on us again.
I guess we just use this email.
Otherwise, he's free to finish off the 311 days in jail.
What's the address of his address is that? You don't live there. Who's that, right? Who's the?
So I still have my stuff there.
Judge, Mr. Van Dyne is telling me that although he no longer lives at the address that you've listed, it is his friend's address. So temporarily that address could be used. Alternatively, Judge, I'm wondering if maybe I could borrow a phone and call his sister and get her address.
Give her a Zoom link.
I
That would be
apologize, Judge,
beneficial.
we don't have her phone number, it sounds like.
Yeah, we don't have a phone number, we don't have an address, and we have no verification that he's living with this person. But we do know that he's never bothered to report, and all he had to do was 100 hours community service.
Your Honor,
Yes, Ms. Brooks?
I'm sorry. We would like to switch because I just foresee him not being a good candidate for probation when it comes to keeping in contact. I would respectfully ask the court to revoke 10 days and close case unsuccessfully.
How many days has he been in jail so far? Let me just check, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Telling me he was arrested on the 8th, Judge?
He's been confined for 19 days since his probation revocation. I'll accept the state's recommendation, revoke 10 days, and close the case out. This case is closed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And also be marked as a probation violation, Officer Brooks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Vigilante, any sightings of Mr. McLean?
No, Judge, I haven't seen him and I'm not sure where he went. I wasn't here when he stepped out. Oh, okay. He needed to use his phone, so I guess he stepped out to do that, but it looks like he's back now.
All right. And there's somebody else behind you in the gallery. Is that person been addressed?
What's your last name? Did you already have your?
We're gonna hear from T in a minute on Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Roy Beasley. Is that your client, Miss Vigilante? No, Mr. McLean, excuse me.
There we go. Yes, Your Honor. Kia Burgess is one of our social workers, as you know, and she's about to Zoom on with us and join our court session.
Okay.
We could do a breakout room between Miss Burgess and Mr. Beasley. That would satisfy my need.
Okay. Deputy in courtroom 2, we have to accommodate so that Mr. Beasley is in front of another screen. Because right now, Mr. McLean has to address jail court iPhone.
Or this other guy could be in the picture.
How you doing, Judge Law?
Hey, Deputy, I'm doing great, thank you.
How
How you can accommodate us?
I'm thinking. Oh,
Miss Vigilante's laptop is available if she'll be kind enough to.
it's up to her.
No, I can do,
That's fine. We can use
I
that.
can do the Zoom breakout on my phone.
Okay, either way.
Yeah, I'm just.
Would it be best if he could just use her laptop since it's already set up?
I know, I'm imposing on her kindness to,
I think she said it was okay. I think Mr. McLean wants to do a Zoom on his phone so bad.
jail court iPhone, are we ready?
Yes, we have position number 2, Mr. Artis.
Yeah. Mr. McLean? Michael McLean? Mr. McLean, we have your client, James Artis, positions 2 and 3.
Yes, that's a plea, Your Honor.
Okay, we ready to go on?
I don't see him in here.
No, he's on jail court iPhone. Do you see him?
Oh, then we can do that plea right now on iPhone number what? Okay, very
Jail
good.
court iPhone. Do you see him?
I do.
All right, thank you. While Ms. Vigiletti is preparing for the breakout for the other case with Ms. Burgess, we can proceed with this. James Artis is at jail court iPhone, case number 20 CR 005-074H, in which James Geron Artis is accused of obstruction of an officer and giving false information to an officer from May 8th, 2020. He's also got a bench warrant, position number 2 on the calendar, 24 FTA 150. Mr. Artis, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Mr. Michael McLean. Mr. Artis, this is going to be a negotiated plea. May I place you under oath?
I think I've seen that.
Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I know I've seen that.
Repeat, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Falk or Mr. Pierre Thomas? I'm sorry, could you
It was
unmute?
me. Something happened with my computer.
No problem.
You want the recommendation from the
Yes,
state?
please.
The recommendation from the state as it relates to Mr. Artis on position number 3 is 12 months probation for him to serve 50 days in custody. Credit for the 25 days that he's already served. Looks like he was booked in on March the 10th, 2022 to March the 12th, 2022, and then looks like rebooked on February 6th, 2024 until today. For the balance to be probated, for him to serve 40 hours of community service, to go non-reporting upon completion of the community service, and for count 2, which is giving false information to a law enforcement officer, for him to serve 12 months probation. That is to be concurrent with count 1. And as the result of this guilty plea, the state agrees to null pros. Looks like position number 2, F24 FTA 000150. Nothing further to add from the state at this time, Your Honor. If we could get the defense to stipulate to venue, factual basis, and ID, that'd be greatly appreciated.
We do.
Mr. Artis, have you consumed any medicine or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood everything that's going on so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney, Mr. McLean?
Yes, ma'am.
Has anybody forced you or induced you to accept the plea offer today?
No, ma'am.
If you decide to enter a guilty plea, you would have to give up your constitutional right to go back to court and have a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not be able to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence and witnesses brought before you, and have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of obstruction of an officer and giving false information to an officer?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 50 days, credit for time served 25 days. You will have to report to probation once you're released. Your probation date is next Tuesday, March 5th, 2024, before 3 p.m. The location is at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. Once you're on probation, you must complete 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency that's not a church and not a school. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You must begin your voluntary community service within 30 days of being released, and you must do at least 10 hours a month.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right. If you don't complete a minimum of 10 hours a month, your probation will be revoked and you will complete the rest of the time in jail. Your probation will be non-reporting once you have completed all 40 hours of community service. The sooner you're done, the sooner you will not have to report. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. His FTA matter will be null pros. Thank you. Officer Norris, do you have another case at jail court iPhone?
Well, I have to go up to 5 South,
All right,
the other
we'll,
guy.
we'll see you then. Okay. Mr.
Who else-
McLean,
Who
oh,
else in a breakout room, Judge? Is anybody?
Olivia, no, we're waiting for Mr. Beasley to appear on Olivia Vigiletti's laptop.
Okay,
Beasley,
Yes,
he's
he's
right
in the
here.
courtroom.
yeah.
He's right.
If he's in the courtroom, I can place him into a breakout, if there's nobody else there.
If we cut the public recording, we are essentially in a breakout, or either way.
All right. So, Ms. Lewis, can you place courtroom 2 and Kia Burgess in a breakout room, please?
Yes, I can, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Deputy or Mr. McLean, could you all make sure you click on join the breakout? And Mr. Beasley will have to come forward to the chair. Where'd he go? Oh, are we frozen? Okay. And Ms. Burgess, you will join a breakout with Mr. Beasley? All right, we'll be in recess until we have a case appear before us. Thank you. Yes, sir. And who do we have? This was 4 South, oh, sorry, 5 South. So this would be
Mr. Burke,
Mr. Birch. Okay.
good morning, Your Honor.
Did you say B-U-R-K-E?
Burks, Burks, Cosmo,
Okay,
positions 3 and 4 on the probation.
okay. All right, we have courtroom 2 that's in a breakout session still. Miss Lewis, could you let Mr. McLean or Miss Vigiletti know in the breakout room, they may be in the courtroom, that position 3 and 4 from probation revocation is ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll go in there and let them know. Thank
All
you.
right. Mr. Brooks, just give us a couple of moments. We'll get the defense attorneys on Zoom. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor.
Miss Lewis, any update from the breakout?
I'm asking them to respond to me now. I just sent them a message. And I just let them know that there's somebody waiting on them to come in.
Oh, yeah. Just go ahead and close out that breakout room.
Okay.
It's on a 1-minute timer.
Okay.
Sorry, Miss Burgess, I had to, I need courtroom 2. Mr. McLean? Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I had to close out the breakout room. I need you in, to address Positions 3 and 4 on the revocation calendar, Mr. Burks.
Mr. Burks, I understand is going to be recommended for time served and close out the case, and I'll bet you dollars to donuts, Your Honor, that he's okay with that.
All right, yeah, there you go. Money's on the table, okay. Cosma D. Burks, 22 CR 007407D. Mr. Cosma Burks had convictions for either or fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, misdemeanor possession of marijuana, reckless driving, and willful obstruction of an officer. His probation violation case number is 24 PV 190. Cosma Burks, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of your case. Anything that you say during this virtual proceeding, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Mr. Michael McLean. Officer Brooks, you're still under oath. What was the reason for this warrant, and what's the state's recommendation?
Thank you, Your Honor. The reason for the warrant is because the probationer failed to pay court fines to the amount of $1,870, probation fees of $200, victim crime fund fees of $45. He also failed to complete 40 hours of community service. He was given a court notice back on to appear on July 11th. He did not appear for his probation revocation hearing, and at that time a warrant was granted. We are asking that his probation be revoked today with time served.
All right. Mr. McLean, I gather your client will accept these terms?
I need to ask him, Mr. Burks, do you want to discuss this in private with me, or is it obvious what your decision would be?
I love to get time served.
Okay, you were right, Mr. McLean. Okay. Mr. Burks, I will accept the state's recommendation. This will be recorded as a probation violation on your record for failure to report, failure to pay, and failure to complete the conditions of your sentence. I will commute the remainder of your time to the time that you've already served at the jail, and that will close your case out.
Yes, ma'am.
And okay, that concludes the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, Mr. Beasley, number 7, is a negotiated plea.
All right, sir. Thank you. You're so welcome. The client just really gives me a charge. Happy Tuesday.
Your Honor.
Yes.
May I be excused? That was my last hearing.
Yes, I just was looking over the probation calendar, and that completes the calendar. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Position number 7 on the SAP calendar is State versus Roy Beasley, 21 CR 3938H. Mr. Beasley has been accused of driving while license suspended or revoked, hit and run, driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe. This stems from a June 7th, 2020 incident. Mr. Beasley, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Michael McLean. For purposes of the plea, Mr. Beasley, may I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Repeat.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Pierre Thomas, what's the recommendation, please?
Your Honor, the recommendation from the state is for the defendant to serve 12 months on probation, to pay a $500 fine, for him to have 6 months, a 6-month suspension, for that to be served concurrently with count 3. Count 2, for him to have 12 months of probation to be served concurrently with count 3 as well. And as it relates to count 3, driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, for him to serve 12 months on probation, 30 days in custody, credit for the 15 days that he's already served in custody, for him to pay a $1,000 fine, for him to complete 240 hours of community service, to complete a DUI risk reduction program, for him to complete a victim impact panel, and to have an interlock device placed on his vehicle, and for him to complete a alcohol, drug evaluation and treatment as necessary. And I guess as it relates to the total, the only way it substantially deviates is the total fine for the matter would be, appears to be $1,500.
Okay, just a couple of questions about the sentence. A DUI is a 1-year suspension. So, one would be a 6-month suspension in concurrence with the 1-year suspension with DUI.
I do believe that that is the case. So.
Okay, and then question number 2, if he's not allowed to drive, would there be a reason for the interlock device?
I'm not sure if he wants to do I'm not sure if this is for the defendant. Okay, go ahead.
Let me interject at this point, Your Honor. It turns out he's got some vision problems. He has an ID card rather than he's got a state identification card similar to a driver's license in appearance. He does not intend to drive. He does not have a vehicle. His driving days are over. And so the license suspension would not be necessary or would not matter. And the interlock device on any car that he owns, he doesn't intend to own or drive a car.
In that case, there should be no driving unless he has a valid driver's license, which he will need to reapply for with the appropriate testing with DDS, vision tests and so forth. In other words, he has to reapply for his whole driver's license.
Right.
Okay. So Mr. Pierre Thomas, based on that, I'm going to just remove the 6-month suspension. It'll just be a 1-year. It will just be a 1-year suspension in accordance with DUI. Okay. And then the interlock device, I'm just going to remove that because he's not allowed to drive at all. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. McLean, does your client accept these terms, and do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
He does accept these terms. We do so stipulate.
All right. Mr. Beasley, you've been already sworn. Have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood what's going on with your particular case and what will happen on the final disposition?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that you're not allowed to drive at all unless you reapply for a driver's license after a 1-year suspension.
Yes, ma'am.
And that would require you to go through the vision testing, the road tests, and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is anybody forcing you or inducing you to plead guilty today?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the legal services you received?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that if you decide to plead guilty to a DUI, that you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial before a judge or a jury? You will not be able to confront your accuser, not be able to challenge the evidence brought against you, present any defenses or mitigating factors if you choose to do so, and have the state carry its burden to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to 1 count of driving while license suspended or revoked?
Guilty.
To hit and run?
Guilty.
And driving under the influence of alcohol less safe?
Guilty.
On the DUI charge, your sentence is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, balance probated. You will report to the probation office next Tuesday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. While on probation for the DUI charge, you will pay $1,000 fine, do 240 hours of voluntary community service, complete a risk reduction program, attend 1 victim impact panel, and submit to an alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment that's required. You must begin the alcohol and drug evaluation within 30 days of being released from jail. Count 2, the hit and run, the sentence will be 12 months probation to run concurrent with the DUI, count 3. For the count 1, driving while license suspended or revoked, the sentence is 12 months probation to serve 30 days, credit for time served 15 days, to balance probated, and that will be concurrent to count 3. and you will pay an additional $500 fine, and your license will also be suspended concurrent to count 3. Again, you are not allowed to drive until you have a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. In order to acquire a new driver's license, you must reapply for a new driver's license and go through the whole process, including the written test, the vision test, and the road test. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, so.
Mr. Vigiletti, who do you have at medical, please? Please unmute.
Hi, Judge. I'm sitting here with position 28, Mr. William Pascal. Actually, he might not be position 28. I'm sorry. He's a reset from multiple weeks. I'm not sure what position, but this is William Pascal.
We'll find it.
Same here.
He's position 20 and 21 on our calendar. All right. And Pascal is Paschall?
Yes.
Yes, Judge.
Okay. This is State versus William K. Pascal, case number 23 CR 002723D. Mr. Pascal is accused of driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, driving under the influence of alcohol per se, and operating a vehicle with no insurance from a May 22nd, 2021 incident. Mr. Pascal also has a bench warrant, 24 FTA 000084 from September 5th, 2023. Mr. Pascal, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Ms. Vigiletti.
Yes, Judge. And before we begin, could I just ask, could we hear this case perhaps in a breakout room? I do need to discuss some personal medical issues that will prevent Mr. Pascal from completing certain elements of this plea offer. And I would prefer that not to be, in open court recorded and with people who don't need to be here.
All right. Ms. Lois, could you place me, Ms. Falk, Mr. Pierre Thomas, and medical in a breakout, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh, we're all doing this. Pretty good.
All right, with regards to positions 20 and 21, William Pascal, that case has been arraigned and further notice for trial. Okay, Mr. McLean, do you? All right, just to go over the calendar, just to get a snapshot of where we stand, that would be very helpful. Mr. McLean, would you be able to? I think Miss Vigiletti is still at the other location.
Right, I will, I may ask you to slow down because I'll jot down as we go through the numbers as fast as I can.
All right. Position number 1 on the probation revocation calendar. Alfred is continued on probation. That's 1 and 2. Position 3 and 4, it's closed time served. Position 5 and 6, Curry, is continued on probation. Position 7 and 8, Coavy, is continued on probation. Position 9 and 10, Van Dyke, the case is closed. Right. Moving on to the SAP calendar. Position 1, Alexander, is reset to Thursday, February 29th. With regards to that purge amount. Have we closed? No, sorry.
That's not the case.
No, Mr.
Right.
McLean, so sorry. On position number 1, Alexander, I'm going to issue an order closing the case. The purge amount has been paid.
No, that's number 10.
Your Honor, that's not Mr. Alexander. Mr. Alexander is the one who had 2 cases and we're resetting it so we can address both cases.
Oh, yeah, I put the notes all on the wrong spot. I'm so sorry. So position Alexander is reset to 229?
Correct.
Okay, and the order I'm entering is on Cousins, position, well, we will come down to that. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Position 2 and 3, position 2 is null crossed. Position 3, Artis, is a plea. Position 4, Azadi, is a plea. Position 5 is null crossed. Position 6, Alfred Banks.
That's ready for a plea. It's going to be time served, balance suspended, but he has not appeared in the courtroom yet.
He's at 5 North, so we're waiting on that.
We're going to get him right now. They're going to go get him right now.
All right, thank you. Position 7, Roy Beasley, is a plea. Position 8 and 9, Bolden, Brebner.
Well, eight was released.
Amar Bolden is released?
Yes, he was released. Even Sunday when I was here at the jail, he had been released as of that time.
Okay. And position 9, Shane Brebner.
He had a second case that I believe I left a message asking, what are we going to do with him? Is he going to be today or is he going to be Thursday? That one I have a little confusion on as to whether we were going to try to go forward today or just do it on Thursday.
What's the other
Michael
case?
Jordan had written a memo about that.
Position number 9, Breb, oh, he's not even on the, it's not
I
on.
was asking, what's the other case number?
We don't know.
Maybe that was for Mr. McLean since he was talking about another case.
Right, there was an email from Michael Jordan with regard to the Brebner case numbers, and I'm not quite up to speed. I did read the memo.
Okay,
Circle back around to him in a
yeah.
minute.
I will come back to position number 9, and that's on my printed calendar, okay? Position 10, cousin, that's the one where I'm going to issue an order. The purge amount has been paid. The bench warrant is set aside, and the case is closed.
I'll just mark that as dismissed.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Now, position 11, Dewberry is a plea. 12, Harper, 12 and 13, Bradford Harper.
That's ready for a plea if he is brought into the courtroom. I think there was some controversy over whether they could find him easily and quickly, but he was on the list in my section of it, but I had been told that another attorney in my office was already familiar with the case. She consulted with him one last time to see what he wanted to do, conveying to him the new offer of SAP, even though that person is not normally an SAP. And they sent us a memo back saying that please, okay, go ahead. And so that's why we put down there.
Okay, so we are holding on position 6, 9, 12, and 13 so far.
Yes.
Position 14, McNichols was released for the notice for trial. 15, McPherson is a plea. 16, McPherson is a plea. 17, Morris is a plea. 18, Myers, Tony Myers.
Now we're into territory I'm not as familiar with, but I will make notes.
All right, that's for Ms. Vigiletti. Okay, we have a question on that. Position 19, Parker is a plea. 20 and 21, William Pascal is arraigned and further notice for trial. 22, Ponder is a plea. 23, Ponder is, bench warrant is null pros. 24 and 25, Tiles Pool.
Is that spelled Poole?
Poole, correct. So that's a question for Ms. Vigiletti.
Correct.
26, Rucker is transferred to Superior Court. 27, Seals is a plea. 28 and 29, Mark Simmons are reset to March 5th at 9 a.m. Position 30, Calvin Sims is a question.
I'm sorry, Calvin Sims is 30?
Yes.
Okay.
31, Yankuba Toure is a question. And then 32, Victor Vega is a plea. 33, Tony Wyatt is released for the notice for trial. Same announcement for 34, released for the notice for trial. And 35, York is a plea.
Mr. Jordan said in reference to position number 9 that this person is the same. I guess he's on 2 different calendars, today and Thursday, with 2 different names. So I'm assuming that's what you were waiting for, Mr. McLean. So
right.
His thing is, what do you want to do with this case? Do you want to hear it on Thursday? Where are we going from here with it?
I think we move it to Thursday to address it with the other case where we have a different name. So hopefully we'll be able to address the same person with 2 different names.
Okay, that's what, and Ms. Falk, I guess, are you aware of this particular case?
I am not, and so it would help if I know the other name the defendant is under, so I can do a global recommendation on.
But I think the person, so he has this charge, which is on this calendar, on Thursday's calendar, it's the same charge and I believe an obstruction charge, but they said the solicitor's office accused it twice for the battery charge.
Right. Can you give me the name that he's going under on the 29th so I can look at it?
It's
I
something
don't-
Thomas. But I sent everybody an email yesterday. This guy was arrested.
But what's his alternative name? What is the other AKA?
I don't have the calendar in front of me, Judge, but he was
Okay.
arrested under one name. The same officer came back and filed warrants under his correct name. And he went on the SCA calendar for all three warrants, but it's the same gentleman with the same charges, same incident date, same victim.
Right. I'm following what everyone is saying. I still need to know his alternative name. I understand that you don't have it right now. And so if you could just send it to me when you do have the alternative
I sent
name.
it to everybody yesterday.
Okay, well, I will go back through my emails and then try to locate it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
So
And
now
we-
it's where we set for Thursday.
Yeah.
I missed the conversation late, but I can give you that name that Mr. Jordan.
Shane Brebner?
Yeah, Justin Henderson is the alternative name.
Thank you, Ms. Vigiletti. I really appreciate that.
Okay, Shane Brebner, position 9 on our calendar is reset to February 29th to be addressed with what was the other name? Justin Henderson?
Justin Henderson, it sounds like.
I'm just looking at a preliminary calendar. I don't see it there, but it might be in an add-on, so. I will address both cases on Thursday. But in the meantime, I have jail court iPhone at, who do we have, please?
Position number 6, Mr. Banks.
All right, thank you.
That's
And-
ready. That's ready for plea.
All right, and Ms. Vigiletti, we still have questions about positions 18, 24 and 25, 30 and 31, and I'll get back to you on those cases, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Alfred Oray Banks, position 6 is case 21 CR 004860Y. Mr. Banks is accused of loitering and prowling from September 13th, 2021. Mr. Banks, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and representing you is Mr. Michael McLean. Do you see Mr. McLean on the screen?
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Banks? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
May I place you under oath for purposes of the plea? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Pierre Thomas, what's the recommendation, please?
The recommendation from the state is for the defendant to serve 12 months on probation, to serve 46 days in custody. Credit for the 23 days that he's already served. It appears to be September 13, 2021 to September 14, 2021, and then rearrested on February 2nd, 2024 for the balance to be suspended, for him to stay away from the incident location. We'll look into that further, and for him to have no further contact with Mr. William Johnson, traditional spelling. And if we could sound for Mr. Johnson in accordance with Marcy's law, as our office has not been able to get in contact with him. And also if we could get the defense to stipulate to venue, factual bases, and ID, that'd be greatly appreciated.
We do stipulate to those, yes.
Now, Mr. Pierre Thomas, I'm sorry, I didn't write this down. Incident location is,
The Odyssey's back up. I'm going to get it right now for you, Your Honor. One moment.
all right, thank you. All right, and Mr. Banks, while we're waiting for the name of the location, let me ask you some questions. Have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am. I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, I understand that judge trying to. Yeah, I understand. I got you.
All right. Are you satisfied with your attorney services?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So for this charge of loitering and prowling from September 13, 2021, do you remember that case?
To my recollection, no, ma'am, because I was someone else locked up.
All right. And do you understand that if you're pleading guilty to this charge, that you will be placed on probation? I mean, sorry, you won't be placed on probation, but you'll have to stay away from that location.
I had to stay away from location. Yes, ma'am, I understand.
So right now, I'm going to have the prosecutor, Mr. Brandon Pierre Thomas, give me a brief summary of the alleged facts that led to this arrest. Do you understand? Do you understand,
Okay,
Mr.?
yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Thomas?
I'm listening.
Your Honor, the incident date, or the incident location is 617 Broadview Terrace, Atlanta, Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia. But basically it said that he was in that place in a manner that was not usually prudent. Give me 1 second to look it up. It says that he was seen on camera prowling through Mr. Johnson's, the victim's, personal belongings in his garage, which is I guess the residence. It says that Mr. Johnson attempted to get him to stand by while he called 911, but the suspect fled, Your Honor.
No? Mr. Banks, does that refresh your memory?
Yes, ma'am. I remember that, ma'am, but I don't remember. I remember the case, but I remember getting arrested at Chevron gas station, and they was looking into the case at the time. When I came to jail, they released me within like 2 or 3 days, and to come figure it out, I wasn't the guy that was looking for, but at the same time, I couldn't tell you who it was, but I was on drugs at that time, and I was in that area, but I wasn't the guy.
All right. Do you still want to move forward and plead guilty to that charge? Otherwise, you have a constitutional right to go back to court and have this case tried before a judge or a jury.
Being that I was kind of favored person, and it was a mistake by that guy, and he's not here, so I'll just go ahead and I was in the area, so I can't say that I was not stalking him or nothing like that, but I was in a garage. I was near the garage area though, so I can't say either me or him that was there. So I will take the charge, ma'am.
You don't have to.
Oh.
Your attorney should have explained to you that if you don't believe you're guilty of this charge, that you have a right to a trial, and your attorney will assist you during the course of a trial.
But I was around.
We explained that to them.
He already explained it to me when he came to talk to me. So I just letting you know what I was thinking was on my mind. So I'm just gonna take charge.
And I'd just like to notate, Your Honor, the warrant and the report both states that the victim verified the suspect's description, and that's when the officer placed the defendant in custody.
1 second. I'm not comfortable moving forward with this plea if Mr. Banks is just pleading guilty just to get out of jail.
Understood.
No.
Could I ask for a signature bond in that case, considering the nature of the allegation and the date?
I was in an area where the garage is at, so I can't say.
Mr. Banks, she heard you. Mr. Banks, she heard you.
Okay.
So the warrant states, Mr. Banks, listen very carefully. On September 13, 2021, at 617 Broadview Terrace in Atlanta, Georgia, approximately 4 o'clock in the morning, you were seen on camera allegedly prowling through Mr. Johnson's personal belongings in his garage at Broadview Road. This was apparently noted on camera going through his belongings. Mr. Johnson confronted the suspect, which is Mr. Banks, and told him to stand by while he called 911. Mr. Banks fled the location as Mr. Johnson tried to stop him. Mr. Banks jumped on a bicycle and rode it to 639 Morosco Drive. And Mr. Johnson followed him and called 911. And at 639 Morosco Drive, the officer had the suspect in custody and then had him arrested And since the victim did not have any of the since the defendant did not have any of the victim's belongings, the police officer charged him with loitering and prowling. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recall the facts of this case now?
I recall, I was on drugs at the time, ma'am. So yes, I recall being on a bicycle riding past the garage, but not stealing or taking anything.
All right, but you're not charged with stealing or taking anything. You're charged with loitering and prowling in someone's home at 4 o'clock in the morning. Do you still want to proceed with the plea, or would you like a trial?
I would proceed with a plea.
All right. So in that case, so I'm going to ask you again, have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And is anyone forcing you to take a plea offer today?
No, ma'am.
If you decide to plead guilty to the loitering and prowling charge in Mr. Johnson's garage, you would have to give up your constitutional right to go back to court and have a trial in front of a judge or a jury. You will not be able to confront your accuser. You will not be able to challenge the evidence and the witnesses brought before you. You will not be able to present any defenses or mitigating factors, and you will not be able to have the state carry its burden to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you willing to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of loitering and prowling?
Guilty.
Your sentence is going to be 12 months to serve 46 days, credit for time served 23 days, balance suspended. You are to stay away from the location 619 Broadview Terrace in Atlanta, Georgia. You are to stay 200 yards away from that location. You're also to have no contact with William Johnson. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Your Honor, was that
I apologize, was it 617 or 619?
617.
I'm sorry, 617. I couldn't read my writing. Sorry about that.
Got it.
All right, Mr. McLean, anything else to add?
Nothing to add, Your Honor. It sounded
All right.
kind of like almost like a North Carolina versus Alford situation.
Yes, sir. All right, thank you, Mr. Banks. You're free to go. Okay, going back to Ms. Vigiletti, the questions, Ms. Vigiletti, I had a question about positions 18.
Yes, Judge, I spoke with Officers Norris and St. Cyrin, and they cannot find position 18 Tony Myers. They cannot find positions 24 and 25 Tiles Pool. They cannot find position 30 Calvin Sims. And they cannot find position 31 Yakuba Toure. Oh, I'm sorry. I just got an update that Toure is in Forsyth County.
All right, so position Toure is going to be, so was he released or just transported there?
Officer, was he released or is he being housed there for how? Okay, so he's still a Fulton.
Okay, so Mr. Toure, position 31, that's going to be further notice to March 5th,
Okay,
SAP calendar,
okay,
pending his return from Forsyth.
okay.
All right, so that leaves us with 3 other individuals. Mr. Meyer. Ms. Falk or Mr. Pierre Thomas, was there an offer for Mr. Meyer?
Yes, Your Honor, there was an offer for Mr. Meyer. Let me just go up to that position. Let's see. The state's offer for Mr. Meyer does include additional jail time.
Okay. That case is going to be reset to March 5th at 9 a.m. SAP calendar. All right, moving on to position 24 and 25. Mr. Sims, I think.
Poole.
No, sorry, Mr. Poole. And I think this was to serve 46 days, credit for time served 23 days.
Right, that offer did not include additional jail time.
Okay. And what about Mr. Sims? Position 30, Calvin Sims.
Position 30 also included additional jail time.
Okay, position 30, Calvin Sims is reset to March 5th, SAP calendar at 9 a.m. That leaves us with Tiles Pool. Okay, let's see now. The best I can do, Miss Vigiletti, is squeeze them in on our SAP calendar on Thursday.
Okay, understood, Judge, thank you.
All right. So position 24 and 25. Yes, Mr. Jordan, Miss Strong, we're gonna have to squeeze them in as an add-on. Position 24 and 25. Hopefully we'll be able to locate him and address his case at 9 a.m. this Thursday. All right. I think, does anybody have any other questions about the rest of the calendar?
How about, I'm sorry, I think I missed, what did we decide for position 9, Shane Brebner?
Thursday.
Oh, that's Thursday, based on the fact that he's got a different name. We're going to consolidate both the cases to be addressed on Thursday.
And how about Bradford Harper,
Yep,
positions
found it.
12 and 13?
Missing.
Yeah, but what are we doing?
So if Mr. Harper is so far still missing, I know he's here because our colleague, Miss Maxwell, did speak with him in the last day or two.
Okay, let me see, 12 and 13. Yeah, that also looks like there's no additional jail time for him.
Yeah, she did meet with him yesterday and he was interested in taking the plea.
Oh, Deputy, do we know why we can't find him today? Any chance we'll find him on Thursday?
12 and 13.
Bradford Harper.
Did Mike tell you that one of our colleagues spoke to him yesterday?
Yeah, he's an announced plea, right? He's announced as an
Let me
negotiated
look, because she spoke to him, she sent me,
Yeah.
let me see if she has a location, get it down.
Yeah, I think we announced it.
She said he's at MA 218.
Marietta Annex
Oh, okay.
on the other side of the parking lot.
So is this a matter that has to be reset?
Well, he's at Marietta Annex, which is about 100 yards away, or maybe my distance estimate's not good. Maybe it's 200 yards away in that other building on the corner.
Okay.
There-
Bradford Harper has a court date with Judge Edie also on his bond forfeiture judgment calendar. So right now I can reset him to March 5th without any prejudice because he's got a bench warrant from Judge Edie that doesn't get heard for well over a month.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Okay.
Excuse me, Judge, on
Yes.
Mr. Poole? it
This
looks like-
is Bradford Harper,
Okay.
positions 12 and 13.
Okay, I was gonna go back to Mr. Poole. It looks like Mr. Poole did made bond on his FTA with Foster Bonding Company on February the 10th of 2024.
Okay.
That's why I can't find him because he didn't probably booked out.
They're saying that Tiles Pool made bond on February.
If you are sure about that, you sure he wasn't arrested between 2/10 and now? Check and see the latest bookings.
That's the current booking number I pulled up, but that's what it was on the counter. That's what I see.
Okay. All right, I'll get back to Pool in a moment. On Bradford Harper, Miss Vigiletti, the best I can do right now is put him on the March 5th SAP calendar.
Okay.
If he wants to consider the plea, otherwise he's got a bond forfeiture hearing with Judge Edie on April 3rd.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. 12 and 13 is reset to March 5th at 9 a.m. All right, going back to Tyler Poole. I never questioned Miss Lewis's assessment of a case. So if Miss Vigiletti, that's your client, are you comfortable that he's been released?
Yeah, if it's showing him as bonded out, I assume that's correct. Poole, Poole.
I'm checking now again, Judge.
The officers are also double checking.
Okay. On Tiles Pool, I have that he was booked in on February 9th, 2024. And I see he's been in custody for 19 days.
I also am seeing an active jailing for him.
Yeah, and the jailing number is 240-2173.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Lewis, can you give me screen share?
Yeah, I think I could do that. Let's see here. Yeah, I see the commitment form. I don't know if you can get the documents up from the jail. I see committed on 2/29/2024. I'm looking to see.
Yeah, it's still not letting me screen share. Otherwise, I'll show you what I'm just pulled it up under his latest booking, 240-2173.
Mhm, that's the one I have.
It doesn't have a release date.
No, but it has underneath, it says disposition on 210 with Foster Bonding Company.
Yeah, that's the bond he's got, cash backed, but it doesn't show that it's been processed. So there's no release date.
He did make the bond on 210 and 2024, but yeah, I mean, he made bond on FTA, but yeah, we don't know if he's physically been released off of that bond.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is still keep him on the February 29 calendar as an add-on. And if the jail can verify that he's been released, because that's not updated on the jail screen.
No, that's not updated, but the only thing they put in there has, like you said, the bonding company, and I was looking for the bonding company paperwork to show.
Oh, I agree with you.
Bond.
Yeah, the bonding company does show that there's a $4,000 cashback, but I just don't know whether that's been processed and he's been released. So, Ms. Vigiletti, Tyler Poole, position 24 and 25 are reset to February 29th as an add-on.
Yeah, I do see bond was posted, but like you said, we don't know if he's good at, the bond was posted.
Okay. Okay. That I think takes care of all the questionable cases there.
Yes, I think so, Judge.
Okay, position 6 is Banks, and that was a plea. Position 9 is that's reset to February 29th to address it with his other case. Position 12 and 13 are reset to March 5th. Position 18 is reset to March 5th. Position 24 and 25 are reset to February 29th as an add-on with a possible that he's already released. And position 30, Calvin Sims, is reset to March 5th. And 31, Toure is reset to March 5th. Those were the cases in question. Okay?
Yes, Judge. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. We will resume at 2 o'clock for the SEA calendar. Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.